What's up, guys? We're back, and today this car, not that one, that one's way away, this one will be on the ground. And to prove it, if we go under the car, then you can't see, but the new ball joints are on, which is good. You see the old ones there, and then I have to cut the end of this one. But we're going to be dropping the car today, and technically first driving it, although I won't be taking it out on the road because I don't have a license for that, but I will have soon. So yeah, right, I'm not going to bother tying everything away. There's a bit of stuff here that'll need to come out from under the car, but I'm going to set the tripod up, and then you'll see it hit the ground for the first time, and then all being well, driving off into the sunset that doesn't exist. Oh, we're excited. Right, I'll get this started on tripod and you can see me drop the car. Oh dear. So I forgot I took the handbrake off. That's a thing that happened. Yeah, I took the handbrake off and forgot. So I was very confused as to what was happening there. But battery and stuff isn't bolted in. But, oh, it's weird seeing it down at body level. I'm gonna just connect it up, leave the bonnet propped, go get the key, and see how it feels about the drive. So, got the key. Feel that? Just that little tiny bit, and it's already going. Oh my god, that feels incredible. And we've got no warning lights. We're all good. The car is done. Besides needing to be cleaned, is all done and good to go. It leaked a bit of gearbox oil when I was changing ball joints, but we're all good now. Haha, come on the Peugeot. This might go up as a short video, because there's not really much to cover. I can't drive it or anything. It just feels so good and sounds sweet as anything. Okay, so following on from the startup and everything that should be earlier in this video, next up is to tackle this, which I'm not sure how much I'm looking forward to, but it needs doing because, well, it's a state. So you just see there's mold absolutely everywhere, and also just it literally is everywhere. So I've got the hoover out and I'm just gonna try and tackle it. Really, I'm gonna hoover it up. I'm gonna hoover the mold up, and then I've got, once it's hoovered up, I've got some like enzyme stuff, and I have a carpet extractor. So once I've hoovered it up, I'm gonna get the carpet extractor, especially on some of the worst bits like the seat bases. And I mean, the driver's seat surprisingly isn't too bad, but the passenger seat, yeah, definitely needs some attention. And also the carpet just here is not too good. Right, that's the driver's bit hoovered as best as I can right now, and I found £1.10. So this car is already returning me money, and that's always good. I always like that. Next up, I'm going to come onto the back here. I'm gonna do it in stages, so I'm gonna do all the hoovering. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna do all the hoovering, then all of like the extracting, and then all the spraying and all of that kind of stuff. So it'll all be done in sections, and we'll be good to go. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Love it. So in terms of hoovering, this is done. Now on to these two sides. The hoovering is probably going to be the easiest part. It's really not hard at all. Just whipping over everything with a little bit of the hoover. And it honestly is a pretty clean car anyway. The goal right now is just to get it cleaned up so I can take photos. I've cleaned the outside, and then I'll need to get the machine polisher on bits, but I just want to get the photos taken. And then, because like from a distance, you won't really be able to see the scratches and they'll all come out. So I just want it looking good, photos up, listed for sale, hopefully by the end of today, and then see what kind of interest it gets. I mean, it's a nice looking car from here, you know, even up close. There is an overwhelming smell of gearbox oil, and I looked under the car and it is leaking, and I think I know why. When I did the ball joint on this side, I had to loosen it by pulling it this way, which pulled it out, and I think it's pulled the drive shaft out, so I'm gonna have to jack it up and tap the drive shaft back in, which is a pain, but that's all it really is, because it wasn't leaking before and now it is, so kind of makes sense. I'm not too worried about it. And then yeah, get this all hoovered up looking nice and list her up for sale. I will attempt to tackle that, because it's going to mean I'm having to refill a little bit of the gearbox oil, but I've got a litre of it left over, so it shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, get on with this and go. I'm probably going to just do this outside of the video, then come back when it's time for extraction. Okay, there it is, basically as hoovered out as it can be, and there's like 5 million of those stupid little flies around, and they're getting on my nerves, but what must be done must be done. So it's looking a bit better now. My brain is slightly wiring me to say jack it up and do the drive shaft and see if it is all you think it is. So I don't know, I might do that, because while I do think I know what it is, I would like to have some confirmation before I go any further, because, well, yeah. So I think I'm going to do that. It only involves jacking the car up and getting the wheel off, and then undoing the hub nut, and then undoing the lower ball joint nut. But if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. I really hope it just needs tapping back in, because I cannot be doing anything else with that stupid gearbox. So I'll get set up and then go from there. I'll just show you the leak now. It's coming. I don't know how much you'll be able to see it on the ground. There, it's coming from like the driver's side drive shaft bit. So that's what makes me think it has just pulled out a little bit, and I can just hopefully tap it back in and it'll all be fine. But who knows, and then pump some more fluid into it. But who knows? We'll have to see, which I'm going to right now. I'm gonna jack the car. I'm gonna jack up my car and go from there. That was a Mighty Car Mods reference. Yeah, I am so trying to put this off, but we'll see. Okay, so just jumping in with a little voiceover here. I've cut the footage basically because it's completely useless. I ended up smashing my thumb with a hammer against the drive shaft, and then it turned out that that wasn't even the issue. It didn't need tapping in. The rubber seal around the drive shaft on the gearbox side has like rounded away from where I was trying to loosen the ball joint. Like I said, I thought it pulled the drive shaft out. It turns out it's just worn away the tiniest bit, so it's like seeping like 1 drop a day, but it's still a leak, and it's still a leak that needs sorted. But yeah, I've just cut the footage because it's pretty pointless, and it was just a lengthy thing for no reason. I don't even have the footage of me hitting my hammer, so I can't laugh at it. But enjoy the rest of the video. It's just cleaning from here on out and taking the final presentation photos and stuff. So yeah, see you there. So hopefully, I know I said this last time, but I wasn't anticipating very much injuring myself. Hopefully this time I'll be able to get the photos taken of the car and go from there, because the interior, I haven't really done much since the last video, but it's looking a little bit better. It's still going to need cleaned up and everything, but it is getting there. I'm going to put this all back together, and yeah, we can go from there. And I'll get photos of it and list it for sale today, but obviously, you know, it needs the work doing just under that seal. So, but it's just to start getting interest and stuff. So yeah, good to go. I'll put it all back together and see you when it's done. Okay, this is always the same introduction. Yeah, well, I don't even know what I'm pointing. There's nothing even there. But we've got the Bissell spot. It's still got old stuff in it, but because this is mold and stuff, I'm just going to chuck it in there anyway. That's the dirty water, obviously. This is the clean water. So, and this has worked super well for every other car I've ever done in my life, so it should do just fine for this. We've got the plug, the sucky thing, and the wetty thing. So that goes in there. That's a very strange analogy, but this basically goes through and comes out there over the seat, and then it should hopefully clean it, because this seat is a nightmare, and it's also kind of gross. So it's now time to do all of the spot cleaning, and then it'll be plastics, and then it'll be enzyme, air freshener, take it down there for photos and list it on Marketplace. So yeah, let's just get cracking on. I don't know how much I'll be able to show because the camera angles might be a bit awkward, but I'll do my best. So here I'm just spot cleaning. I've already sprayed it with the same solution that's in the machine, just out the little nozzle. There's a little trigger. So I've just pre-sprayed it, let it soak for a minute, and then I've gone over it with the machine, sucking all the water back out, and all the dirt and stains you'll see in the end. It's all brown sludge coming through the end of the thing there. And progressively through the clip, you'll see the stains start to go, and the seat will look a lot better. Okay, so obviously this has still got to dry, so it'll probably still look a bit stainy, but in terms of all the mold and all that rubbish, there's still a little bit that, oh, it's not actually like there, it's just a tiny bit. And obviously the seat belts, but they'll all be done when I do the wipe down. And it seems like there's a little bit. This seat and this seat got quite stained from it, so I think it's going to need a little bit more than just the extractor, but it's done a majority of the work. You can see the seats look a lot better. So basically I'm going to cook some food. I'm going to let this all kind of air out a little bit, just because obviously the seats are still wet. And then I'll come in with the interior cleaner, do all the plastics, do all the glass, and then I shall get the enzyme stuff, which will just be good for the carpets and seats, just to stop any mold thinking it can come back. It will stop it. I don't know why. It was probably, honestly, I had the wind deflectors in, and there was like a little tiny bit of gap, so maybe it was just air getting in or something, but it should be sorted now. And just like that, it's more or less ready for photos. See, I'm conflicted on whether to get floor mats for it. I might just like get some of them multi-universal fit ones, just to tidy up the flooring area a little bit. But it looks a lot nicer. Looks a bit more like a car, so I'm going to pull it into position. There's logs, which isn't going to be good for photos, but I can try and remove them from the photo. But yeah, pull it in, see what it kind of looks like in the, you know, where I normally take the photos. If it looks good and decent, then I shall carry on and keep going. So yeah, and there we have it. It's in place. I've just took all the photos. So basically, I like to turn the lights on for the photos just to show that they work. And then I just basically get one from every angle and go from there. But it's all looking nice, all looking good, clean, tidy, and finally ready to be sold. So this will most likely be the last video on the 308 that you see, just because I'm not going to make a video about replacing the seal and any other little bits. I haven't dressed the tires, which maybe we'll see how the photos do. If the, you know, if it doesn't get sold, then I'll retake photos and stuff. But for now, it's looking good, looking clean, and looking good to go. So from whenever it was I started, I can't remember, December the something, 3rd maybe. Tractor just going past there. So from like December 3rd to now, it's been a long time. Nearly 3 months, I think. Yeah, nearly 3 months. But I would say, you know, it's been worth it. I've learned a lot. I've learned, like, you know, I took it on thinking, you know, it would be an easy job, and it wasn't really, but it's got there in the end, and it's finally ready to go. So if you enjoyed the video and the series, then it's all going to be linked, and they're all in like a playlist together, so you can go watch them if you want. But yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I shall see you all at some point. Maybe that thing, but we'll see about that. See ya. Cheers.